as we join our commentary team of Peter Jones, Jimmy Armfield, first Mike Ingham.
And welcome to the home of the best team in the Barclays League. You join us for the start of the second half. Liverpool perhaps 45 minutes away from yet another title, attacking the Kop end here, attacking the end away to our right in there, all red, playing from left to right here. They just start the second half and make Spurs defend immediately, edge of their own penalty area. 1-0 to Liverpool then. And remember, Liverpool just need a point for the title. Beardsley got the goal after 33 minutes. Spurs certainly had a lot of possession in the first half, but just lacked a little bit in the last 18 yards perhaps. But Spurs certainly not yet out of it, and Liverpool will perhaps be looking for another goal to completely cement this victory for the 3 points. Liverpool lose their way again just inside the Spurs half, but typically Liverpool win it back again in the centre circle through Gillespie, and Gillespie finds Craig Johnston on the right hand side. Johnston into the penalty area, headed away by the impressive right back Brian Statham, and now to the man who had perhaps more of the possession than anybody else in the first half, Johnny Method, followed closely by Chris Waddle too, and Waddle received the ball from Method, tried to run through about 3 Liverpool players though, was dispossessed in the end, and Liverpool again find Craig Johnston down below on the right hand side, a couple of yards in from the near touchline, and now halfway inside the Spurs half, going towards the penalty area, gets another cross in which finds Brian Statham's head. Not enough height there really for Aldridge. Spurs were able to clear it, but all they're doing really is just helping the ball back again to the men in red. Hansen was there again in the centre circle, and Liverpool again find another ball for Johnston on this near side the right, getting a lot of early ball. Johnston going round Vinnie Sandways. Now he needs to get a cross in perhaps. He checks, still hasn't got that cross in. He has now for Houghton. Good work again by Brian Statham in the area. It's still not clear yet for Spurs though, in their white shirts and their blue shorts, but now Spurs perhaps can break through Waddle, and now the pacey Paul Allen down the far side of the field. Allen though just punts it too far in front of him, and Hansen manages to hoof the ball into the crowd over on the far side. Now Liverpool still without John Barnes today, and they have missed him. It also means that Barnes with that groin strain will have to miss England's trip to Hungary next week. Liverpool play the team that drew at Norwich in midweek. Bruce Grobbelaar in goal, Steve Nicol, Gary Gillespie, Alan Hansen and Gary Ablett the back four, Ray Houghton, Nigel Spackman, Steve McMahon and Craig Johnston in midfield, Peter Beardsley the goal scorer, and John Aldridge up front. Spurs team in just a few moments, but now they've got a free kick 30 yards out, so possibilities here, and Method takes. He doesn't blast it, he just chips it to the far side of the penalty area. Mitchell Thomas was trying to get there, and Craig Johnston manages to clear. It was very tight for Craig Johnston by the corner flag, but he did well to get it away for Liverpool, and the ball is out of play just down below us on this near side. Still deep inside the Liverpool half though, and Craig Johnston, who's getting a lot of the early action, is down there, and so too is Steve Nicol. I should say, by the way, that Johnston is playing on the right today for Liverpool, and Houghton on the left, a complete reverse from Wednesday night, when at Norwich Johnston played on the left and Houghton on the right. Kenny Dalglish has made that tactical readjustment today. And Johnston again going in down below with Steve Hodge. The ball is out of play again, and this time it's going to be a Spurs throw just inside the Liverpool half, 10 yards or so inside the half. Hodge, who was the closest for Spurs in the first half to a goal, plays the ball infield. A neat layoff from, well, it wasn't from Method because Aldridge was there pouncing on the halfway line. Aldridge tries to put it through the gap for Steve McMahon. Liverpool still pressed though. Beardsley finds Houghton, and again the right back going in strongly there for Spurs, Brian Statham, and again Statham is there just helping the ball away from danger. But as soon as the ball gets up to the halfway line, that's perhaps where Spurs are lacking the conviction, because every time there's a midfield exchange, Liverpool look hungry, and Spackman was going in there to win the ball, but this time he's been penalised by our referee Gary Aplin from Kendal for a foul. So Spurs have another free kick now. This one's just about 5 yards deeper from the last one, about 35 yards or so from goal, and Chris Waddle, who's made a very lively return to the Spurs team today after 2 months out. Waddle now dribbling towards that Liverpool defence, tries a shot with the left foot, and it gets a ricochet about 8 yards out, which might have been uncomfortable for Liverpool, but Gillespie was there reassuringly for them, and this time Liverpool win a free kick, a foul by Brian Statham on John Aldridge, and Liverpool have a chance now to put things together over on the far side. That's the Liverpool left in the second half. They're now from that free kick halfway inside the Spurs half through Ray Houghton, who's come in field but now has to drag the ball wide again to the left, to the man in space over on the far side, the left back Ablett. Ablett up to Beardsley. Beardsley tries to win a corner. He doesn't. It's a goal kick to Spurs, and just before I give you that Spurs lineup, the first word from the former England captain Jimmy Armfield.
I think Liverpool have been less convincing than I've seen them since about Christmas in the first 45 minutes, certainly. I think they deserve to be in front, but they certainly lacked balance without John Barnes. He's Horton on the left side. It hasn't quite been effective. Super goal by Beardsley. Tottenham put the ball together very well for the first 2/3 of the pitch, but when they get into the last third, I think they've lacked conviction, and it's sort of represented their season to me.
And again, Spurs giving the ball away. Never ever do that, of course, against Liverpool. Liverpool keep it usually for a few minutes after that, and Hansen's just holding it at the moment, halfway inside his own half. He wanted to come right, didn't panic though, because he saw it was tight, so he went left instead. And Liverpool do enter the Spurs half, and immediately Aldridge is chopped down, and Liverpool have got a free kick now, some 10 yards inside the Spurs half. Hansen stepping up to take it, and Hansen will take it second attempt. Well, in fact, he won't. He dummies everybody, including the commentators, and Ablett takes it instead. And Spackman now rolls it to the far side, and in fact, the referee there committed to the whistle. Spackman was fouled. He managed to find Beardsley wide on the left, but he was fouled rather hard there. And although Liverpool had got the possession over on the far side, it's a free kick, and it's about 25 yards from goal, centre field. A little bit of petulance from Paul Walsh, who just tapped the ball to where he thinks the free kick should be taken from. And Ablett and Houghton size up the free kick. Bobby Mims moves around on his line here in front of the Kop. Intimidating experience for him. Ablett's free kick is into the Spurs wall. Falls again to Ablett. Ablett tries to play a ball over the top of the Spurs defence. Ablett's there cutting it out. It's still on the edge of the Spurs penalty area, and then just blasted upfield by Steve Hodge, but it's picked up easily by Hansen inside the Liverpool half, and Liverpool on their way again perhaps. Although they play McMahon into a bit of trouble in the centre circle. He did well to get out of trouble, and Liverpool now find Aldridge. Aldridge trying to squeeze the ball through a gap for Houghton. The gap was there for a split second, but then suddenly Spurs managed to shut the door, and Mabbutt plays the ball to this near side, asks Paul Walsh to do a lot of running. It's out of play now for a Liverpool throw. Now, Spurs today without Terry Fenwick, who's suspended. They've got Bobby Mims in goal, back in on Merseyside, of course, former Everton goalkeeper. Brian Statham, Gary Mabbutt, Chris Fairclough and Mitchell Thomas, the back four. In the midfield, Paul Allen, Vinnie Samways, Johnny Method and Steve Hodge. And Chris Waddle is with Paul Walsh up front, although Waddle is also playing pretty deep as well, supplementing the midfield. Clive Allen is one of the substitutes, Neil Ruddock is the other, but Spurs now again defend. It's Liverpool 1, Spurs 0. Beardsley the goal scorer, lays the ball off for Houghton. Houghton for McMahon in the penalty area. It's all played very, very quickly there, but Gary Mabbutt kept his eye on the ball, managed to win the challenge, and finds Method halfway inside the Spurs half. A long ball from Method, looking for Chris Waddle. Grobbelaar has to come a couple of yards outside of his penalty area there to beat Waddle. Playing as a left back there, Grobbelaar. Spurs take the throw quickly, and Samways makes about 20 yards, and then the final pass is not there for Walsh. Nevertheless, Liverpool can only tap it straight back to Spurs again, and it's with Mitchell Thomas on this near side, the left. Still Spurs pressing down this near side. Mitchell Thomas again, just outside the penalty area. Plays the ball flat to feet for Paul Walsh against his former team. Walsh jinking and finds Thomas again. A good cross coming in from Thomas. Ablett half heads it away. It falls again to the big left back Thomas. And Mitchell Thomas now picks up Vinnie Samways about 10 yards behind him. Again, a lot of Spurs possession. Can they make it count though in that Liverpool penalty area? They trail here by 1-0. Beardsley got the goal after 33 minutes, and Spurs have won a corner, and they deserve the corner too after that spell of pressure.
Yes, there was a bit more conviction in the play altogether there. It was a first-time cross from Thomas. Was the sort of thing they were missing in the first half. It came in early. It was a good clearance by Gillespie.
And Johnny Method to take this Spurs corner down the near side. The left, Grobbelaar holds it at the second attempt at the near post, though I noticed that standing behind him, just in case he didn't make it, was Craig Johnston, who's always in that position, rather like Paul Reaney used to occupy for Leeds, and it's amazing how many times he's been called upon over the years to be there. And Liverpool now play a wonderful ball out of defence to the far side. They're already just outside the Spurs penalty area. Houghton and Beardsley combining, that was the combination which led to the first goal, but then Houghton was always off balance trying to get to that return from Beardsley, and he couldn't get the cross, and it's gone behind Bobby Mims' goal, and it remains here Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0.
I think we must mention young Statham, the right full-back from Tottenham. He impressed me very much in the first 45 minutes. It's the first time I've seen him play. It would have been interesting to see him playing against John Barnes, but I thought he did particularly well for a young full-back. Looked steady, aggressive, good in the air, came forward. if one or two of his midfield players had shown the same aggression, I think Spurs, could have been in this game, certainly.
Well, Chris Waddle showing a bit of that at the moment to breast aside two Liverpool challengers. Finds Mitchell Thomas again down the left, near side. Paul Walsh swings an early ball now into the penalty area, and Chris Waddle goes forward, and there's a very rare header coming in there from Chris Waddle. Got it right on the top of the head as well, really, and it's gone wide behind Grobbelaar's goal, and Grobbelaar takes the goal kick very quickly to suggest that Liverpool want to get on with it here and perhaps get a second goal, which will absolutely kill things off. Remember, they only need a point to be mathematically certain of the championship, and they lead here by 1-0, and Liverpool again have the possession. Gary Ablett hits it about 30 yards into the Spurs half, just inside the half at the moment. Comes back again to Ablett on the halfway line. Left-footed ball from Ablett for Houghton on the edge of the area, and the man that Jimmy was talking about, Brian Statham, gets in a bit of trouble there for Spurs actually. Tried to head the ball back to Bobby Mims, and he managed to bail them out in the end though, because Statham came back after making that error, and it's going to be a goal kick to Spurs. And we can run through all the other scores now with Peter Jones from Featured Games.
Yes, all significant matches, of course, this afternoon. In the First Division, it's still West Ham 0, Coventry City 0. It's Derby County 2, Southampton 0, Charlton 2, Newcastle 0, Portsmouth 0, Norwich City 1, and then Manchester City 2, Bradford 1, Ipswich 3, Middlesbrough 0, Aston Villa 1, Shrewsbury 0, and up in Scotland, Celtic 1, Dundee 0.
On St George's Day in England, the Championship of England could be wrapped up by Liverpool, leading by 1-0. Liverpool looking for a second goal perhaps. Houghton just slices the ball towards Aldridge in the penalty area, and Mitchell Thomas, that was all Mitchell Thomas needed really. It was just away from Aldridge, and from a very tight angle the left full-back does well to squeeze the ball back to Bobby Mims again.
One of the things that struck me about watching Tottenham, I think we should mention this point, there's some very good players, technically very good players. They showed a lot of composure on the ball in the first half, didn't look underconfident. The results, though, they've only won 2 of the last 12, I think it is. It's shown, that's what's really shown in the play. When they get in forward positions, just lacking conviction. And I think if they had Clive Allen up there on with Paul Walsh, I think there'd be far more outlets for the midfield players. And I think Terry Venables must be thinking about some support for Paul Walsh.
Transition phase, of course, this for Spurs and Terry Venables. 3rd last season in the league, FA Cup finalists as well, but some big names have been sold since those days. Hoddle, Goff, Roberts, people like that have left the club. Danny Thomas, of course, had his career shattered. So Terry Venables will be just hoping to get to the end of the season, I would think now, and rebuild perhaps a little during the summer. Those Spurs not completely safe of relegation themselves at the moment, need a couple more points certainly, and Spurs at the moment just down below. We sit high here above the halfway line at Anfield, win a throw, and they give it away for Beardsley, and Liverpool could score the second perhaps here. No, they can't, because just as Beardsley was about to line himself up for the shot, Vinnie Samways, one of the youngsters that Terry Venables will be looking to for the future, nicked it off him, and now Spurs recover well. And Johnny Method crosses the halfway line down the near side, the left-hand side. Method with the right foot manages to get it some 30 yards to the far side of the field now to Paul Allen. Paul Allen taking on Gary Ablett. A good bit of pace here from Allen. Good cross to the near post as well, and Gary Gillespie had to head that one straight into the crowd at the Anfield Road end. Another good Spurs break that from left to right. Method involved again, and excellent pace from Paul Allen. And Chris Waddle now going across to take the corner. Liverpool 1, Spurs 0, but Liverpool having to defend here. A Chris Waddle corner in the sunshine, and Chris Fairclough, Mitchell Thomas both go forward to provide height there. Corner comes in to the near post, and Liverpool clear through Ray Houghton. Waddle wanted to let the ball, I think, bounce out for a throw, but it stayed in field, and Spurs now again coming through Paul Walsh, just inside the area, very tight for Paul Walsh. Lays it square to Gary Mabbott. Mabbott hits it all along the floor into the centre of Grobbelaar's goal, and that's an easy one for the Liverpool goalkeeper to hold on to.
Yeah, Spurs doing well at the moment. It was a good shot from Mabbott, and it just bounced awkwardly too for Grobbelaar. He did very well to hold it.
In the meantime, the action has been transferred into the Spurs half just down below us, but I think the ball was just fractionally out of play, and Mitchell Thomas has the throw halfway inside his own half. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Mitchell Thomas throws up to the halfway line. Paul Walsh wanted a bit too much time on the ball, but even so he was swept aside illegally by Gary Gillespie, says the referee, and that's going to be a Spurs free kick on exactly on the halfway line. They take it from a rolling ball. Method for Waddle. Waddle appeals for handball against Liverpool's Craig Johnston, but Johnston allowed to proceed, and from about 25 yards tucks it back again to the man in the green jumper. Away to our left, Bruce Grobbelaar. Grobbelaar upfield to Alan Hansen. Alan Hansen goes left, right, real zigzag of a run that from Hansen. but Liverpool retain the possession, and that's the important thing. They find Steve Nicol, the right back, just down below us on the right. Lovely ball from Nicol for Beardsley, and Beardsley instinctively hits it first time from about 15 yards, and it's just wide of Bobby Mims' left-hand post. The biggest crowd of the season, as you would expect, I think, on this day, attending this match, 44,798, and I must say I feel extremely fortunate to be here, really, bearing in mind that at 5-2 this afternoon, the gates were locked here and many, many thousands were turned away. Or maybe perhaps one or two of you unlucky folk who couldn't get in, perhaps listening to us. And the good news is at least that Liverpool, from your point of view, seem to be on their way to the Championship. They need a point, and they've, at the moment, heading perhaps for 3 points. They lead by 1-0. Peter Beardsley got the goal after 33 minutes. Liverpool trying to get a second one here, but a bad ball from the back, not giving Beardsley any chance at all, down below on the left. And as Spurs try to break quickly, they're going to be caught offside. The ball is out of play, and Liverpool have got a free kick. We'll have some other scores for you from other important games in just a few moments. Remember, into the last fortnight of the season now, so some really crucial games, particularly in the second division, which we've got featured for you today. Another Spurs throw-in down the left. A lot of action at the moment being played just down below on Mitchell Thomas's side of the field for Spurs. He's got the throw about 10 yards from the halfway line, and he throws it into the Liverpool half. It doesn't stay there very long, though, because Walsh can't take it. And now Spurs will try again, going straight through the centre. Hansen outjumps Paul Walsh. Hansen manages to get the ball away. And Spurs at the moment fighting for everything, showing the conviction that Jimmy Armfield was saying that they were lacking, rightly so, in the first half. Terry Venables seems to have perked them up a bit during half-time. Chris Waddle plays the ball through a gap, but Steve Hodge, aware that perhaps if he'd gone for it, he'd have been offside, stayed back and allowed Liverpool to pick up the possession on the edge of their own penalty area. Craig Johnston playing very deep at the moment, lays it to the far side of the field for Alan Hansen, as the Spurs supporters, who've also made the trip, part of that big crowd here today, try to lift it up for their team. They're all camped behind Bruce Grobbelaar's goal at the moment. The Liverpool cop at the moment just a little bit apprehensive, just a little bit quiet. They know that Liverpool aren't firing on all cylinders without John Barnes, but they're still good enough to be leading here by Peter Beardsley's goal. And after 17 minutes, they've got a free kick now, halfway inside the Spurs half, down the left. Words, first of all, before this free kick is taken, with Chris Fairclough, who just protested a little too strongly, I think, for the referee's liking. And now we will have the free kick, and Gary Ablett is being asked to take it. Gillespie goes forward for it. It's a poor free kick, though. It's straight to Bobby Mims, and now here are some other scores for you.
We start off with 2 in the first division. Bad news for the Hammers at home to Coventry City, and Coventry have taken the lead there at Upton Park. Cyril Regis the scorer. West Ham 0, Coventry 1, and Portsmouth 1, Norwich City 1. Mick Quinn with Portsmouth's equaliser. And Division 2, 2 very important scorelines here. Manchester City 2, Bradford City 2. Remember, Bradford at one stage were 2-0 down at Main Road. Mark Leonard's got their second and their equaliser, 2-2 at Main Road. And Plymouth 0, Crystal Palace 2. Mark Bright gets Palace's second down on the south coast.
A lot of football still to be played then before the second division championship is sorted out. The league championship, though, now we are approaching perhaps confirmation of Liverpool as the champions. We're only about 25 minutes away from the game here. Liverpool lead 1-0, edge of the Spurs penalty area now. Shot comes in from Johnston and it's wide, but the whistle had gone some 2 or 3 seconds before Johnston fired that little firecracker in, because there'd been a foul, I think, by Aldridge, and it's a Spurs free kick.
I think a lot of the crowd have come here today. We're expecting a sort of gala afternoon and another 4 or 5 goals from Liverpool. Tottenham have come with other ideas. It's made it very interesting. We haven't had very much goal-mouth action, but I would think, as it stands, Liverpool will be delighted to win this match 1-0. That will, in fact, give them the championship. I think from Spurs' point of view, they can afford to throw 1 or 2 men forward now to try and get in a goal in this match.
Coming up for 19 minutes gone in the second half, and Liverpool now looking strong again down this near side. Steve McMahon, good running from him, tries to go into the penalty area, just lost his way a bit though, and Mitchell Thomas was equally strong for Spurs there in the left back area. And good work coming in now from Vinnie Samways, a very strong run coming in from him. Plays it square to Chris Waddle, centre circle, and Spurs perhaps could open up Liverpool here, because a lot of Liverpool players have been thrown forward in that last move. Popping up on the right-hand side now is the full-back Brian Statham, and he drills in a cross off Hansen's back, and it's gone behind for a Spurs corner kick far side of the field. And that's twice really in the second half, Jimmy, that Spurs have broken very, very quickly, haven't they, from left to right?
That's right. It was a good move, and Waddle did very well, timed his pass well. Young Statham galloped all of 50 yards to get there, just haven't got the strength to get the centre over.
And it's a Chris Waddle corner now for Spurs. They're trailing here by 1-0. It's to Fairclough at the near post. A backheader from him flicked on, but read by Liverpool and cleared over to the far side, the Tottenham right. Of course, his England teammate Peter Beardsley, and Beardsley just gets the better of him as well. Good bit of defensive work there from the Liverpool goal scorer. And Beardsley on the ball again now as he finds Houghton wide on the left. Houghton again trying to set himself up for dribble, but Johnny Method is putting himself between Houghton and the goal, and Johnny Method was always going to win that one, looking very determined indeed, and he doesn't mind from almost the halfway line just knocking the ball back again to Bobby Mims in the Spurs goal. 20 minutes gone in the second half, 25 minutes away perhaps from the league title. Liverpool, they lead here by 1-0, and Peter Beardsley has set Liverpool on their way here with a goal after 33 minutes. A lovely left footer following a good ball from Ray Houghton. Beardsley from an angle, no way that Bobby Mims could keep that one out, and Mims will be required again now because Mitchell Thomas is threading a ball back from the edge of the Spurs penalty area, back again to the former Everton man in goal.
I wonder, since Christmas anyway, certainly, how many goalkeepers have come here and had as few shots to save as Mims has had this afternoon. I think they've put a lot of passes together, Liverpool, but no real finish to it, and Mims hasn't been called into action quite as much as a goalkeeper would expect coming to Anfield.
But he might be called on now though, because Craig Johnson's got a loose ball he's picking up in the penalty area. He went past Mitchell Thomas, but he couldn't get away round Gary Mabbott, and Gary Mabbott just fends the ball off for a Liverpool corner kick on this near side. 21 and a half minutes gone in the second half, and Liverpool take the corner short. Steve Nicol back for Steve McMahon now, 25 yards out. McMahon plays a return ball for Johnston. Johnston clips it to the back post. Aldridge is there, so too is Gillespie, and it's off Mabbott. Appeal, I think, from the cop for handball against Gary Mabbott. Aldridge and Gillespie just get in a bit of a tangle in that Liverpool penalty area, but they're both okay. Aldridge picks himself up, and the ball is again with Bobby Mims, and he will clear downfield in just a few moments. Liverpool 1 then, Tottenham 0. As good as Mims has played this afternoon, as well as he's played, he hasn't been able to emulate McAllister of West Ham and Gunn of Norwich, the only two goalkeepers to come here this season and keep a clean sheet. Peter Beardsley's goal has beaten him this afternoon, and Peter Beardsley's goal might well have set Liverpool up for yet another league championship. Taking you through to the final whistle, there's the roar from the crowd, there's the roar from the cop. Champions, champions. Let's follow them home with Peter Jones.
But it's Spurs who have the possession near side to us, going down their left. Mitchell Thomas with the cross just inside the area. Walsh can't get hold of it. Spackman can, and the ball laid wide. Little figure of Ray Houghton, what a good buy he was from Oxford. Tries to find the score to Beardsley, can't though. Brian Statham, who's had a splendid game at right back for Tottenham. He's a couple of yards in from the far touchline, the Tottenham right, and he's fouled. Free kick then to Tottenham, deep inside the Liverpool half. That's away to our left, so they are attacking their favourite cop end in the second half. But there's Paul Allen trying to go square, can't, loses the ball. And Steve McMahon plays it back comfortably to Bruce Grobbelaar. Bright green jersey and those red shorts. Well, it's surprising at Norwich last Wednesday to find him in a white top. We couldn't get used to that. He's back in the colour he likes. Green this afternoon, as green as the Anfield pitch. We've had 23 minutes of the second half. 4-1, Spurs 0. And McMahon for Liverpool. Almost gets the ball through the gap. Fairclough reads it though. And it spins back to Bobby Mims, all in blue, away to the right at the cop end. And Statham, the right back, finds Paul Allen. His cousin Clive, one of the two substitutes this afternoon. We wonder if Terry Venables would perhaps bring on Clive Allen, as Jimmy suggested perhaps 10 minutes ago. It might be an idea perhaps to take out one of those midfield players and give some help to Paul Walsh. And not a bad match. Transferred, of course, from Liverpool earlier this season, but he's had very little help alongside him as Liverpool go forward from the free kick. Gillespie heads the ball away, though. Spackman's there. Little figure of Beardsley just below us. Spins the ball away to the right. Aldridge with the header, and Houghton will go scuttling after it. Collects it 5 yards in from the far touchline, the Liverpool left. He still holds on to the ball. Ablett goes out to help him, the fullback. Doesn't give it to Ablett, but square to Beardsley. Good tackling once more by Tottenham, though. Had a lot of conviction here this afternoon. There's no question of the side coming up from North London and just lying down and dying on a festival day. They've played well, but they're 1-0 down. Johnny Method cuts the ball back. Waddle, first game in 8 weeks, trying to impress the England manager. Comes square across the area. Shot comes in. Wasn't really right for direction or for power, and Grobbelaar saves with ease.
Yes, I think the trouble is with Tottenham, Peter was fully illustrated in that move. Good build-up again up to the last third. And when Waddle got the ball near the edge of the box at the angle, he only had one alternative, one option, that was to shoot. there were no alternatives on for him, and I think that's the problem they've had, and that's what I meant by this lack of conviction in the last third of the pitch. It's people taking up positions and coming for short passes and perhaps returning balls quickly for shots, and I think that's where they've missed out.
Well, they have the possession once more with Vinnie Samways. One or two good little runs from the young player. Out to the left to Hodge, who's been in and out for the season, as indeed most of the Tottenham side have been. But such a good player, Nottingham Forest, and then off to Villa, and started very well in his Tottenham career, but hasn't quite got it so far this season. But Spurs have got the throw. It's 5 yards from the Liverpool corner flag, down the Tottenham left. Played to Samways. Ball back to Hodge. Can't get hold of that at all, though, and it'll be a throw in, therefore, to Liverpool. And Steve Nicol, the right back, how well Steve Nichol's played this season. Such a versatile player, centre defender or at right back. And the ball is finally cleared. Aldridge goes up to challenge. Fairclough's too tall for him, heads the ball away, but Hansen's underneath it equally. And then in the end it spins out into the sunshine, far side to Ablett, the left back. Forward to Beardsley, scorer of Liverpool's goal after 33 minutes. But again, Waddle comes in and challenges well and takes the possession. Comes inside Ablett, still got the ball there. Shot will come in. Oh, good save this time from Grobbelaar. He really hammered that one, and that underlines, Jim, what you said a moment ago, that when he'd gone forward there was nobody there. All he had to do was shoot, but this time he shot well.
That's right, cutting in at the angle. He made it difficult for himself, but he struck it very well. He goes past people, I think, as easy as anybody I've ever seen. He just seems to just look past defenders. Good shot. Unfortunately for Spurs, it was right at Grobbelaar, but whatever Grobbelaar's had to do today, he's handled very comfortably, and he handled that one very well.
So Liverpool leading by 1-0, but Spurs will have the possession. Some later scores coming up in just a second. As again, a good challenge will come in. Well, it seemed a good challenge to me, but the referee, Gary Alpin from Kendal, said no, so it's a free kick to Tottenham. And it's 15 yards outside the Liverpool penalty area. Again, Vinnie Samways having a word with the referee, which, as I've seen, has occurred 2 or 3 times this afternoon. Unnecessarily. Johnny Method, balding, but lovely skill still. And we wait for Tottenham to take the free kick, and at this stage we welcome listeners to World Service, wherever you may be, to Anfield. It's really the big theatre of the day, where Liverpool need just 1 point to clinch the championship for the 17th time. They're 1-0 up here. The goal scored by Peter Beardsley 33 minutes into the second half, but it's Tottenham who have a free kick just outside the Liverpool penalty area. They tried to square it from Hodge. He got it all wrong, and Spackman in the end will clear, and we're looking for the break, and we've got the break now. Houghton moves deep inside the Tottenham half. Houghton still holds it, can't get away from the challenge though. Fairclough tackled well, and the ball is cleared, and now we can have those later scores for you.
Well, there are points to be won for very different reasons at the other end of the First Division, and Portsmouth are staging a fight back against Norwich. It's now Portsmouth 2, Norwich 1. Paul Mariner has given Portsmouth the lead at Fratton Park. Elsewhere at the bottom, it's Derby 2, Southampton 0, Charlton 2, and Newcastle 0, and West Ham 0, Coventry City 1. Those are First Division scores. Second Division scores to come later. As Craig Johnson sweeps the ball out to Beardsley on the left, and the ball is played straight into touch by Statham, the right back. And for World Service listeners who joined us about 5 minutes ago, I know a lot of you overseas are great Liverpool and Tottenham supporters. Great club support for both these two big sides from North London and Merseyside. But Liverpool, remember, are going for the championship. 1 point will be enough. They're 1 goal up, and Beardsley tries to thread the ball like through the eye of a needle, but it's cleared, and here comes Waddle. An awkward-looking player, I think, as Jimmy Armfield was saying a moment ago, but he seems to just drift and float away from players. And he's playing, remember, his first game in 2 months. As Mitchell Thomas, the left back, finds him. And he'll come away, Waddle, and then the cross will come in from him, and Gillespie has to head it away, and it'll bounce into touch, so it'll be a Tottenham throw, 5 yards from the Liverpool corner flag. We've had 28.5 minutes of the second half here. That's how close Liverpool are now to their 17th championship title. They're 1-0 up, but Tottenham have the throw. Again, battling for it, Paul Walsh, and the ball will go into touch. Liverpool claim the throw. No, says the linesman. So a throw into Tottenham, and taken quickly by Vinnie Samways. Method back to Samways, starts to move away from the shadow of the stand, out into the sunshine. Method's there, holds the ball, plays it out to the right, waiting for it, the young Statham. Tries to play the ball through the gap, can't, but comes back for a second bite at it. But he can't get it away from Spackman, who clears his lines, and Liverpool come forward again. Long ball laid out to the wide to Aldridge. Aldridge has got a lot of space here. Oh, dear. A lovely through ball from Ablett. Aldridge was there, acres of space. He had Beardsley running up on his left. I don't quite know what he was trying to do there, Jim.
He tried to volley it. He was looking for the spectacular goal, actually. It's an excellent pass from Ablett. For once, the Spurs defence was caught up, and I thought Mitchell Thomas really should have should have really come further round. It would have given Aldridge more problems. The game's held up at the moment because Spackman has got an ankle injury. He just got clobbered by young Statham a few minutes ago. But it's noticing that both sides now are having problems when it comes into the last third of the field. And I think one thing that's been really noticeable to me has been how much Liverpool have missed Barnes. His left-footed skills, of course, they balance the whole attack, and I think that's one thing that's been very significant today. Houghton has played well. He's played very well, I think. So far, I would say he's Liverpool's most effective player. But I don't think it's quite the same player on the left as he is on the right.
Well, Roy Evans has administered his little magic now, and Spackman's back on his feet, and now we can give you those later second division scores.
And they are Manchester City 2, Bradford City 2. Remember, Bradford City were trailing 2-0 there at one stage. Ipswich 3, Middlesbrough 0. Big shock that. And Aston Villa 1, Shrewsbury 0. Remember, in Scotland, Celtic hoping to emulate Liverpool today, winning the championship there. And Celtic on course, lead Dundee 1-0.
And Celtic's old boy Kenny Dalglish is on the substitutes bench here this afternoon. We wonder whether he might come on. He'd come on certainly to rapturous applause if he does, but then that's not perhaps Liverpool's way. They go in to win things, and they win most things, and they're 1-0 up here, and they are 14 minutes away from the title. But it's Tottenham again in possession. Paul Allen showing again speed, and the challenge comes in, and Allen goes down, pleads in vain for a penalty, and Alan Hansen agrees with the referee. Spackman plays the ball out wide. Ablett, the left back, comes forward, and Aldridge, who's again 5 yards offside and looks very angry and frustrated at the linesman, but he was right in line with us and clearly 5 yards away, and therefore Tottenham have the free kick. It's taken to Method. Method holds the ball. Ajax and Real Madrid are now very much Tottenham Hotspur, though he's played very few matches this season, and he's struggling for the ball a little bit, and it's played into touch by Ablett, the full-back. Throw in then to Tottenham, halfway inside the Liverpool half, far side down the Tottenham right. The right back Statham takes it, played down the line to Paul Walsh, and the ball will be played into touch by Hansen, but it comes off Walsh, although he's pretty annoyed about that. So it is a throw in then to Liverpool, and the throw is to Spackman, who's now back on his feet again, and quite none the worse for wear. Beardsley, Aldridge on the halfway line, and Aldridge now starts to gallop down the Liverpool left. Holds the ball, Mabbutt will go with him, the Spurs captain. Still plays the ball back though, and gets the return. Aldridge trying to find a little bit of space. He's found the space, and he's also found Spackman, who plays it to Ablett. Ball from Ablett. Johnston's going forward. Good challenge by Mims, the goalkeeper, and the referee has seen an infringement by Johnston handling the ball, I think. So it'll be a free kick to Tottenham.
Yes, he did quite right, Peter. He put his palm on the ball. He realised he wasn't going to get there. If he'd have got there, I think he'd have been clobbered by Mims. But still noticeable, Peter. All the players locked in the centre field area. Both sides having problems.
As again, Gary Mabbutt will clear for Tottenham. So it's clear that Diego Maradona can do it, but Craig Johnson can't do it quite so effectively with the hand. But they still lead Liverpool by 1-0. Peter Beardsley is the hero at the moment, scoring after 33 minutes. Again, they tried to find Beardsley. Read well, though, by Mabbutt, and then played forward by... rather unintelligent by Samways then, because he had 2 or 3 options, and he just played the ball rather hopefully forward, and it was hopeless in the end. As Hansen will pick up the possession, and Liverpool are now 12 minutes away from becoming champions yet again. It will be their 17th title, 9 in the last 13 seasons. A remarkable club with a remarkable record. As Grobbelaar will clear high into a lovely blue sky here on Merseyside. It's played back again by Mitchell Thomas. And there's nothing very much that Steve Nicol can do except play it back once more to Grobbelaar. Grobbelaar holds the ball firmly and then belts it halfway inside the Tottenham half, swings away towards us. That's the Liverpool right. Johnston dives for it, jumps for it, but it'll run into touch, and some more later scores for you.
Well, first of all, the team that Liverpool will be playing at Wembley, Wimbledon in the London derby. Wimbledon 2, Chelsea 0. Dennis Wise has scored the second goal for Wimbledon.
As Gillespie goes forward, a chance just for a moment, and then it breaks away to Houghton. Ball just outside the Spurs penalty area. Square to Beardsley, out to Houghton. Cross comes in from Houghton, and Mims is there before Johnson can get there. But again, that lovely little 1-2-3 stuff that Liverpool play so well. Mike Ingham.
And Middlesbrough, who'll be hoping to come to Anfield in the First Division next season. They really have been on the receiving end today. Ipswich 4 now, Middlesbrough 0. Daly and Atkinson, there's a new name. He's got a hat-trick.
Just below us, Steve Nicol. He's challenged by Method. He's got away from Method, and Nicol still has the possession. He goes outside Mitchell Thomas, who comes back and recovers well, though, the Spurs left back. Forward Vinnie Samways, halfway inside his own half. Dark head figure of Samways. Square, finds Walsh. Walsh holds it. Long blonde hair. Out to the left, finds Paul Allen. Allen going inside and then outside. Spackman has got to stay with him, and Spackman does it intelligently. And the referee has seen an infringement, and it's against Spackman. And he's given the free kick to Tottenham. Could be a little danger here for Liverpool then. They lead by 1-0. But the free kick is almost on the white line of the penalty area. To the left as Spurs look at it. When Waddle can get hold of the ball, and he does now from one of the ball boys, and he'll set it up almost on the white line, and it's about 10 yards in from the goal line. So a packed Liverpool penalty area just for a change here, and Waddle not sure that the two Liverpool players are 10 yards away. The referee says they are, so rather reluctantly it seems almost, and Waddle takes a deflection, and Grobbelaar holds it firmly. And Liverpool now at their most dangerous on a quick break. They can't this time because Statham's read it well. The right back for Tottenham. Hits it in low. Hansen has to give away the corner. I think it had gone over the line. Yes, it had. Corner then to Tottenham.
Yes, coming back to the free kick, I think Chris Waddle was absolutely right. The two Liverpool players weren't 10 yards. He had every right to feel aggrieved there. But when it looks as though Liverpool were going to break out, my little friend Statham popped up again. He's played very well this afternoon. If he could just improve that final cross, I think we could have a young player in the making here.
As Chris Waddle then takes the corner, left-footed for Tottenham, high in the area. Grobbelaar's there. Had an excellent season, Bruce Grobbelaar. That was summed up the way he caught that ball, with great confidence, great assurance, and then beckons players to move downfield. We have 9 minutes of this game remaining at Anfield. And you can hear in the background, I've no doubt, the Kop in full voice, and I'm sure in the last 2 or 3 minutes they'll sing the team all the way home. Beardsley, halfway inside the Tottenham half, comes away from the challenge from Samways. Beardsley places it in the gap. Aldridge is there. Flag's got up offside. Again, lovely skills by Peter Beardsley. What a player he's become. A good player in his Newcastle days. What a player he's become. And Aldridge just a fractionally offside. But Tottenham come away themselves. Long ball, finds Hodge, played back. Waddle with the cross, headed away by Hansen. Again, they give it away in that last third, as Jimmy's been saying most of the afternoon. McMahon, as the voices are raised once more. Beardsley, he's got Houghton to his left. Beardsley still holds it, goes round one, goes round two. Houghton on the left. It runs away from Houghton, but he's galloped away and collected it. Plays it back to Beardsley. Beardsley inside the penalty area to Houghton, played out to Ablett, the fullback. Ablett puts the ball onto his left foot. Square, Spackman. Spackman will hold it 10 yards outside the Spurs penalty area. He loops it forward to Houghton. Houghton will be challenged by Samways. Still gets the ball back to Ablett. Good challenge comes in from Hodge. Spurs keep the possession just outside their own penalty area. Method plays it wide once more. Hodge does well to keep it in. Plays it forward to Paul Allen. He'll try and get his pace going. He can't. And two men beat him in the end, Spackman and Hansen between them. Ball to McMahon, 7 minutes to go. McMahon gallops forward, Method chases him, a shadow. Square from McMahon. And he'll find Johnston. Johnston goes outside Thomas, the fullback. Then checks his stride, goes outside again. And then plays it across with his left foot. Aldridge is there, heads the ball back. Headed away though, once more by Gary Mabbott. Ball just outside the Spurs penalty area. That's the Kop end. Here comes Ablett. Ablett holds the ball, then flicks it to his left. That's offside. The Kop didn't like that one bit, but the linesman had no doubt whatsoever. Offside, free kick to Spurs.
That's the best bit of sustained pressure we've had from Liverpool in this half. 2 or 3 good passes put together. I thought Beardsley is the link man all the time. Very confident at the moment, and one of the ways we held the ball up there was absolutely tremendous.
As the ball is played back once more to Bobby Mims, under no real pressure this time, and he's got a sharply etched shadow across the pitch of his own penalty area from the Kop. And Hansen turns away, plays it square. McMahon will pick it up. An England player this season after his great performances for Liverpool. Craig Johnston standing in for John Barnes, and again a very versatile player. Johnston always pulls his weight, gives you 100%. Beardsley, Spackman, and a chance for Beardsley, and again Mims bravely off his line. I think some of the Spurs defenders there thought it was offside and didn't move. Beardsley kept going, and Mims came off his line and spread himself almost on the edge of the penalty area. Method shouts now of champions, champions, and I've heard 1 or 2 shouts for Bill Shankly. That's Liverpool, of course, a side of great tradition and great pedigree, and they are 5.5 minutes away now from their 17th championship title. But it's Spurs, who fought well all afternoon, who have the possession. Chris Fairclough finds Method. Method out to the left. Mitchell Thomas. Thomas going down the left for Spurs. Comes inside Craig Johnston, still holds the ball. Plays it through the gap. Hodge, well, that wasn't really a very good ball for Thomas. It gave the fullback no real chance there. And the ball goes over the line, and that will be a goal kick to Liverpool. And we've got, I think, some more later scores, including one from Scotland.
Well, it must be Celtic's title as well. Celtic 3, Dundee 0. Andy Walker has scored 2 now for Celtic, 3-0 to Celtic. And another important First Division scoreline, West Ham battling back. West Ham 1, Coventry 1. Tony Cottee has equalised for West Ham.
And just as Mike Ingham was giving you the scores, so Clive Allen indeed does come on for Tottenham Hotspur. Johnny Method goes off. And for 5 minutes now, let's see whether Clive Allen, who's had a checkered career with Queen's Park Rangers and Arsenal for a couple of days, and then Crystal Palace and Queen's Park Rangers, and very much a fully fledged England international, lost his form a little bit. He's got 5 minutes to prove himself, Jim.
Yes, takes some doing. I'm very surprised Johnny Method's gone off. I think he's been their outstanding midfield player. To me, he's the one player who's tied the game together for Tottenham between the back and the front players. Very surprised. He must have some injury, otherwise Terry Venables, I'm sure, wouldn't have taken him off. A bit late, I think, for Clive Allen to make any sort of impression, but we shall see.
As Liverpool go forward again, but good covering by Mitchell Thomas. He's done well, played the ball into touch. And we've got a little more than 4 minutes to go now. Liverpool 1, Tottenham 0. Peter Beardsley after 33 minutes. And Clive Allen gets his first touch of the ball with a bright black number 12 of his white shirt. And it's played forward to Waddle. And again, Grobbelaar comes way outside his own penalty. That's the 4 times he's had to do that this afternoon. A roar as McMahon finds Houghton. Houghton's halfway inside the Tottenham half, goes away from one challenge, still holds the ball just outside the area, square to Johnston. Johnston holds it to the chip from Johnston, looking for Aldridge, headed up in the air by Fairclough. Beardsley's there, and Beardsley plays the ball across the area. It just goes across the open goal and spins away for a goal kick.
Superb, really. That was the best thing in the whole match for me so far. Lovely ball out to the right. First from Houghton, all the energy there that we've seen all season. Good ball from Johnson across to the back post, and under pressure Beardsley controlled it, skipped round young Statham all in one. A delightful chip, just went past the back post.
Well, I tell you, the Cop have been singing here since 1 o'clock. They must be absolutely hoarse. They'll find some throat tablets from somewhere. They'll certainly give vent to their feelings now in the last, 3 minutes of this game. And Liverpool are on their way to their 17th title. 1 point would have been enough, but it seems fitting that if they get all 3 on a sunny day at Anfield, perfect theatre. But Tottenham still battle. Play it forward. Waddle beats off a challenge from Beardsley, the old Newcastle former old boys. Square, Clive Allen. Good challenge from Houghton though. Hansen starts to move forward, the Liverpool captain. Plays it towards us. Beardsley's on the halfway line. Infield finds Hansen again, plays a lovely ball to Johnson going down the right. Craig Johnston holds the ball, the cross will come in. On the far post is McMahon, and he fires it 5 miles over the bar. Good running by McMahon, though he scored some good goals like that, McMahon, running from deep positions. But that time he got it all wrong. Ball goes over the top of the crossbar into the Cop, and it'll be a goal kick then. Bobby Minns, the old Everton goalkeeper, will take it.
A little bit of cameo there, Peter, while you were watching. McMahon came and put the shot in, and young Statham, well, he's caught him on the way, and McMahon got up, looked fairly aggrieved at it, and young Statham went across to shake hands. He's obviously thinking of next season.
Yes, you don't tangle with Steve McMahon. But here is Steve Nicol. Back to Johnston, immediately below us. Perfect position for us, high up over the halfway line. At one of the best appointed grounds, certainly in the country. As Gillespie will turn the back to Grobbelaar. We have 1.5 minutes for the championship title to come back to Anfield. Long clearance from Grobbelaar, headed away well though by Fairclough. And Paul Allen almost falls over his feet and then plays it back. Waddle. Hansen is there though before Samways. And, well, he plays rather an awkward one back to Grobbelaar in the end, who had to sprawl to pick it up. Perhaps a word will be said about that afterwards. And then he'll hold the ball and then he bowls it out almost rugby fashion, playing the ball into a rugby scrum, and then gets the ball back from Nicol. We have 65 seconds. And the Cop will sing louder and louder and louder. And the pedigree and the quality of Liverpool will shine yet again as they play the ball back to Grobbelaar, bowls it out to Ablett. He's done well too, the young fullback. Remember, Mark Lawrence out of the game now, and Barry Venison's been out for a long time, and Ronnie Whelan too, which has allowed Nigel Spackman to come in midfield. They've all fitted in so well. That's really the Liverpool pattern. And even when they lose key players, the so-called reserves come in, and you would never know. Houghton through to McMahon, can't get the shot in. Then the shot does come in, and it's yards wide for Peter Beardsley. Had a long look then for a set, and then hit it about 2 or 3 yards wide.
Slow build-up to begin with. 3 passes back to Grobbelaar. Just when Spurs were looking a little bit frustrated, the quick break came. McMahon first. There was Beardsley from the edge of the box, just past the post.
With a clearance, and the whistle is blown by Gary Alpin of Kendall, the referee. And Liverpool win their 17th title, 9 in the last 13 seasons. That's really what you call class. It's what you call quality. They're the best in the business, and they've proved it yet again this season. And the first people to congratulate them are the Tottenham players. Every Spurs player has come across to everybody in turn. Great spirit down there. It's good to see. The Kop go wild away to the right, and Liverpool have done it with a Peter Beardsley goal. Jimmy Armfield.
I don't think anybody would dispute that this is the best team we have at the moment. Liverpool have won this championship worthily. I think they've had it won virtually since February, when they opened that enormous gap. Today I didn't think they played as well as I've seen them play. Not quite the same quality. They missed Barnes to give them the balance in attack. Tottenham, I think, can look forward to better things next season. There's some quality in their ranks. To me, though, the whole side needs a bit of a shake. Lacks a bit of conviction, a bit of homework for Terry Venables. But today it's all about Liverpool. They're all being acclaimed by the Kop now, and my word, how they've deserved it. As good a team as we've had for 2 or 3 years, worthy champions.
It is a quite magnificent sight here at Anfield. Liverpool, all in red, walk away to the right, and there is a cliff of faces. The Kop stand and the whole of Anfield stands, including MFA, to be fair. The Tottenham supporters away to the left. They're saluting the best in the business here.
Bit of repetition here. It's part of the programme, really, that all the players expect. The start of every season, expecting to win the title. But to do it, Peter, you've got to work hard, and they've worked hard at Liverpool from right through the boot room, right to the top. They try to build a team of champions.
And now a special cheer as the Liverpool ground staff walk on the pitch. And there is the old Celtic man himself, Kenny Dalglish, the man who was on the substitutes bench this afternoon. People thought perhaps for sentimental reasons he might come on in the lone boy here for so long. They all walk out in those red and grey tracksuits. They've been part of the scene. And Roy Evans, the physiotherapist, it's all very much a backroom job as well as a front room. The players may have won it, but what goes on in the boardroom here and what goes on in tracksuits here on practice days is important too. That's what makes Liverpool the best in the business. John Barnes is out there as well, the man who couldn't play this afternoon. He applauds the supporters. The supporters applaud the best in the land. Liverpool are champions, 1-0 Peter Beardsley, but a great season. We salute Liverpool Football Club.
Congratulations to Liverpool, the champions supreme for the 17th time, an unbelievable record. Your commentary team had a marvellous Anfield atmosphere this afternoon. Peter Jones, Jimmy Armfield and Mike Ingham.
Houghton. Good ball out to Beardsley down the Liverpool right. Beardsley inside the Spurs penalty area, puts onto his left foot, shoots, and it's there. And Peter Beardsley puts Liverpool into the lead. His 15th goal of the season. And that could be pure goal this afternoon. Ball on the left foot, beat the defender, hit it firmly into the far corner of the net, with Bobby Mims diving in vain.
Thousands were locked out, but not Peter Jones.
Well, this wasn't the best performance produced by Liverpool in their remarkable season, but it still had all the hallmarks that have made them what they are, quality and class. The goal that brought them their 17th title came in the 33rd minute. Set up by Ray Houghton, Peter Beardsley made a twinkling little double shuffle and from an acute angle hit a left foot shot into the corner of Bobby Mims' goal. But this apart, the Spurs goalkeeper wasn't set too many problems for Tottenham, who certainly didn't come here like lambs to the slaughter. They defended stoutly and intelligently. Young Brian Statham had a storming game at right back, while Chris Fairclough and Gary Mabbott made it very difficult for Liverpool's forwards. Chris Waddle, playing his first game in 2 months, was very effective, but it was in the last third of the pitch that Spurs fell down, and Bruce Grobbelaar was rarely troubled. Liverpool certainly missed John Barnes, but they still played some lovely sweeping football with Beardsley, Houghton and Craig Johnston full of good running and ideas. So Liverpool proved their excellent pedigree yet again, a club of good habits and sound preparation. And as the Liverpool players made their lap of honour at the end, it was good to see them joined by player-manager Kenny Dalglish and the backroom boys, Ronnie Moran and Roy Evans. Because you see, Liverpool Football Club is a great club, but it's also a family. And now we go straight down to the Liverpool dressing room and join Mike Ingham.
Well, I think it's appropriate to start first of all in the Liverpool dressing room, where the champagne corks have been popped already, of course, with the man who actually planted the ball in the back of the net today, which actually confirmed the title for Liverpool, Peter Beardsley. Peter, presumably this is why you came to this club, is it?
Yeah, that's right. You know, I've never been involved in scenes like this in the dressing room after the game, and the scenes on the pitch after the game. You know, that's what football's all about, and it's nice to be a part of that.
How much of a thrill did it give you to actually score the goal which made sure of it today?
Yeah, well, that was nice. That was like the icing on the cake, really. But I was just happy to be out there, and if it had been 0-0, it wouldn't have mattered, because at the end of the day, we've won the league.
What has it meant to you this season to be part of such a super side?
Well, you know, it's obviously, like you said, that's why I came here, and to be part of a great team. You know, we scored so many goals, played so exciting football, and the good thing is the crowd have appreciated it, and it came every week in the thousands.
It's easy to smile and everything now, but I mean, right at the start of the season, there was a big mantle on your shoulders, wasn't there? You had to come here and follow on from a great man like Ian Rush.
Yeah, that's right. People said, you know, I wasn't playing very well. But if that's the case, the lads pulled me through, and now I think I'm playing quite well. You know, the team are playing really well, and I think we've fully deserved to win the league the way we have.
Set you up for the European Championships, has it, nicely this?
Yeah, that's right, but we've got a few more important games before that, and obviously we've got the Milk Cup final. Milk Cup, I wish it was the Milk Cup. We've got the FA Cup, you know, so it's going to be tough, but when you're winning things, you're obviously full of confidence, and I'll go to Germany hopefully full of confidence.
Enjoy the moment, Peter. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Moving across the dressing room here to a man who's actually got a smart suit on, because sadly, John, you couldn't actually play today, John Barnes. But what was it like actually watching the team do it today, confirming as champions?
Well, it was just like watching any other game, but you knew at the end of it, if you got a point, it would mean the league championship. So although watching, as I said, it was any other game, you knew that it was a very important game for us. You know, probably more important than any other game, because it's our next one.
I've just been speaking to Peter Beardsley and another of the guys who came here. I mean, presumably this is why you left Vicarage Road and came to Anfield. Was it for things like this, championships?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's every player's dream, you know, to win championships and win medals. But, you know, it's a dream come true, really, winning the league and possibly the FA Cup at the end of the season as well.
Would this be the best moment so far for you in your life, even better than Rio, maybe, when you got that goal?
Oh, definitely, because although we won in Brazil, you know, at the end of it, that you haven't won anything. We won the match and we got a cup, a friendly cup, but I mean, this is the real first championship medal I've got, and I'm delighted.
Just a word about having to miss this last week. I mean, has that been a bit of a blow to you, not being able to play in the two games?
Yeah, it would have been nice to like play the championship winning game, but as I said, you know, as long as the lads did it and I'm part of the team, that's the main thing.
John, does that mean you're out of the Hungary trip now because of the groin injury?
Probably. I've got to talk to the manager first and then we'll make a decision.
Just one final point, and I don't want to dampen your day, but Watford have been relegated today. Does that give you a bit of sadness?
Yeah, it does, but I think that the writing was on the wall, you know, a couple of games ago. I think if they could have won their last 3 games, and they did quite well in their last games, you know, I think that they would have had a chance of staying up. But I'm sure they've got a great manager there and a great side, great spirit, 100% commitment from all the players. So I have no doubt that they'll bounce straight back up next year.
Congratulations on a fantastic season for yourself as well. Thank you. Kenny Dalglish, manager of the Champions, is with me now, and Kenny, many congratulations. The one thing which has perhaps been slightly different for you this season is that you weren't actually part of the guys playing out there. You were sitting watching as the manager. Did you enjoy the experience?
Still very enjoyable, I'll tell you that, when you win it. They say if you won it a few times, they know what it wears off. No, for us it doesn't. They were absolutely magnificent. They didn't play as well today as what they have done all season, but it's no one game that wins the league. It's been 36 and they've been magnificent, and we're very, very proud of them, and obviously it's an honour for us to work with them.
How much pride does it give you, especially to hear everybody right across the land paying tribute to the way you've played this season? Everybody.
Well, someone said it's bad for Liverpool to be running away with a league championship. It's not bad for us. If we set our standards higher than anybody else, what's the problem? They've got to come up with our standard. As long as they come up with our standards and we don't drop to theirs, we won't be too unhappy.
You went into the season, I mean, let's not forget, without one of the great goal scorers in the world as well. Ian Rush had left the club. I mean, how much pleasure does it give you to be able to have overcome that?
Rushy was tremendous for Liverpool Football Club, and we loved having Ian Rush here, and he's sharing a lot of success with Liverpool Football Club, and I'm sure he'll be very happy that we won the League Championship today. But it's to the lads' credit who have come in and done tremendously well at the start of the season, and obviously to the lads who have been here and been established professionals. They've accepted the lads in, the two have gelled together, and we've got the end result, the League Championship.
And just one final point, Celtic have won the Scottish Championship as well today. It's a pretty good day for Mr Dalglish, isn't it?
It's not the worst I've had, no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Typical understatement from Kenny Dalglish there at the end. Barnes, Beardsley, Dalglish, the stars of Anfield. There are so many of them. Congratulations to Liverpool, their 17th title. And not only have they won, they've entertained splendidly all season.